Hello Pisces, Pisces rising, and Pisces moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for March 2017. And a quick reminder for you guys, remember, these horoscopes are meant for like big, sweeping, seasonal themes that are going on throughout this month. Things will change on weekly bases and even daily bases, and to keep up on that, you should check out your weekly horoscopes that I always put up. The first half is exclusively astrology, so even if you only like astrology, there's still something for you there. And of course, if you'd like to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with this month? Well, this month we've got a handful of planets all in one spot. I've said it before, I'll say it again, you know, once or twice a year this tends to happen. And it does tend to happen in March and in October especially. So, you know, it's definitely a month where I would say look at that rising or that moon sign, you know, so you can get a more diverse thing, because there's a heavy emphasis on Aries. You know, we've got Venus in there, the Sun going in there, Mercury going in there, Uranus in there, and a new moon in there as well. So that's a lot happening in one spot of your chart. Now, this could be a great month, though, for a lot of you, because a lot of this is circulating around your earned income sector, your second house. And so this could be quite a profitable month, even if it feels like kind of a one-chord song. Now, early on in the month, we do have Jupiter currently retrograde through your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, and self-employment income. And remember, Jupiter retrograde is talking about how do we find hidden gems? How do we find hidden treasure in our own backyard, either through people we already know, sources we already have, or any kind of way to sort of, you know, bolster ourselves, or, you know, again, improve our personal prosperity by actually not having to go out and reach all over the place and, you know, and sell our souls for it and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's a great thing to have, because in the beginning of this month, Jupiter retrograde is going to make a gorgeous angle to Uranus, currently in your earned income sector. And there's could be a huge breakthrough or discovery moment when it comes to you being able to either discover yourself a brand new job or get discovered for a dream job at some point, or a dream job opportunity at least, in the first 3 weeks of this month. Now, this may require some compromises. Sometimes it does. Sometimes this can show up in the form of a promotion, or perhaps even just something that proves to be very fulfilling and very much rewarding, even financially, that we do on the side of our regular job. Or maybe we don't have a job right now. Maybe we're not working right now. Maybe we're retired, or, you know, we're working at home, you know, for the family. Well, what can happen is we still find something pretty dang great on the side, and the first 3 weeks of this month, because it's a long angle, it looks to me like that is going to be presented. Again, it's a breakthrough of some kind, but it is, whatever it is, it's going to pile on some extra. Now, almost immediately after that, we do have Venus turning retrograde in your earned income sector. Now, with Venus retrograde, don't try and apply the rules of Mercury retrograde to it. It's just not the same. It's not even the same planet. The only thing they have in common is the fact that the word retrograde's there. Now, whereas Mercury tends to focus on the mind and on communications, Venus tends to focus on the feelings. And when it's going retrograde through the second house, you know, it can be kind of a test when it comes to certain people's insecurities and maybe emotional availabilities, lack of availabilities, or, you know, maybe even hypersensitivities at the office or relating to profession. And so this could be a month, it's going to last all month, where you have to mind your P's and Q's, because you may notice that coworkers, clients, and customers are just a little bit extra sensitive. Now, when it comes to Venus retrograde, sometimes we just got to pay attention to 3 big things that we got to make sure we don't get tripped up by: temptation, trust issues and insecurity, and instant gratification. Because sometimes, again, with Venus retrograde, that energy can kind of focus on immediate relief. You know, that Peter and Paul kind of feeling, or, you know, sacrifice tomorrow to feel better for today kind of energy. And that might be a trend that's kind of sweeping a lot of folks right now anyway. A lot of folks are just looking for relief. They're not even looking for the long-term solutions. It's just, how do I feel better right now? I'm freaking out. And this could be something that carries into the office. Financially, you won't necessarily be suffering for it. Just be careful about infighting. Be careful about those challenges, teammates, and things like that. There could be some issues there. new job opportunities themselves may, turn you off. You may be put off to a new job opportunity that you may have been entertaining. Just be careful. You don't want to be put off for emotional reasons. It may not necessarily be anything wrong with the job. It could be Venus retrograde. After that, we've got Mars moving into Taurus, into your third house of contracts, pacts, promises, and commitments. And it's going to be there all month and going into April. And with Mars in the third house, you've got people's loyalty. You've got people backing you up. Because remember, Mars is the warrior planet, action and energy, but also warrior's honor. It's a time where people's promises are kept. And it's a time to really be considering with your energy and your focus this month on how to have the strongest, tightest crew, but also to have, tighter bonds with people that you do consider your teammates. So sometimes when we have Mars in the third and Venus retrograde in a second, it's a perfect time to examine who can we count on. Can we count on this person to be there for us? Well, maybe not. Maybe this guy can't be there for us. He seems a bit shady. He seems a bit self-serving, looking out for number one, lone wolfy kind of stuff. Or maybe we can't trust her, she's not very good in a at a sign of trouble, she either breaks down or runs out. So we've got to kind of, maybe look and see who should be in our closest circle, who can we trust. Somebody who's proven themselves to you in the past will most likely be coming back during this time as well. Because of these two angles. And this could be an old business partner, an old friend, an old roommate, somebody that you really knew you could count on as a solid rock, and make sure that we can keep them for keeps this time. After that, we've got a full moon in Virgo, okay, in your partnership sector. And this is the area of commitments, one-on-one relationships, best friend, BFF, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, roommate, business partner, all those kinds of things. And full moons are kind of interesting because I don't see them as like this big cataclysmic ending, because they don't have to be, but what they are is a test. And it's a test of the relationship strength, and that seems to be a big focus here. Now, if we pass the test, we've got a better relationship than we entered the full moon with. If we don't, then we need to reevaluate the relationship a little bit. And this full moon is going to be raising the energy there. You may be finding that maybe tensions with a business partner or a roommate get very high, and we decide we want to, take some distance or permanently distance ourselves from these persons. This could be, however, a great opportunity to culminate, or maybe even get closer to a lover, or maybe even get closer to a strong friend or a confidant during this time. I will say, because Venus is retrograde, though, it's not a good time to make anything official romantically. But then again, it goes direct on the 10th of April, so we're not waiting too long, it's only a few weeks at this point in time. But it is an interesting kind of moon to have, because it tests, whether or not something will be crushed into a diamond or just crushed into dust, which is interesting. It doesn't have to be bad, though. I mean, we can take on these challenges willingly, which I recommend, or not. Then that's kind of a theme of the middle 2 weeks of the month. On the 13th, we've got Mercury moving into Aries. Okay, there it's entering Aries, joining everything else in that earned income sector, and progress is happening fast in the last 2 weeks of this month. Because wherever Mercury goes, everything gets a shot of caffeine. Everything's like just buzzing on espresso. And this is, again, going in your earned income sector. And it's soon to be followed by the sun. So we're getting a lot done, and a lot of rapid advancement is happening, and a lot of things that have taken too long to culminate, opportunities that have waited too long to finally have their time in the sun, money that's maybe waited too long to get to you, is rushing your way in the last 2 weeks of this month. This could be a great time to be getting more out of the work that you do, or to even finally optimize or perfect some kind of grand ideal that you have about your work or your profession or the way that you make your money, but it is starting to profit much more quickly. In fact, a new moon in this area on the 27th is going to grant you the opportunity to actually even move into an ideal job or an ideal work environment. But be careful, again, with that Venus retrograde, we may get more than one option at a time. And we have to make a decision between whether or not we're doing something, is the ideal something that, validates my emotions and my stresses, and it's dealing with, it's confronting the issues I'm dealing with right now, or is my ideal what I had before Venus retrograde stirred all of this up? because that's kind of the interesting lesson there. I think I need to do a special video about Venus retrograde here in a little bit. Finally, at the end of the month, we've got Mercury moving into Taurus, into that third house of communications, and we have you getting broadcasted. We have you becoming a lot more popular. We have people really wanting to sort of get in good with you. You could be actually building a perfect social network support system around yourself. We could be finding ourselves actually moving in higher profile circles, more educated circles, when it comes to either work or your social pleasures. What I also like about Mercury here in the third house is that, again, any kind of paperwork that needs to be signed, anything that people have been taking too long to make official in a business sense, is actually going to start getting wrapped up. It's definitely more of an April aspect, but it is going to be a nice little treat at the very end of this month as well. So that is your forecast, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.